Okay, here we go. So I'm going to be all official and everything, and I'm going to say, hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm interviewing Anna Sassinelli, who lives in Buffalo, New York. She's a Crossline team member, has been gracious enough to share her knowledge and information in the way she uses her essential oils in her yoga practice. So I'm going to let Anna give us a little bit more info on what other things that she does in her life, if that's okay, Anna. I know
Yeah,
you're coaching and you're doing lots of other cool stuff out there in the world.
yeah. So I have a private practice where I provide massage therapy. I am a holistic health coach. And even in those two spheres of my private practice, the essential oils they've been a game changer. They're layered in so many ways and for everybody, because those of us who I'm safely guessing are on this call are already using the oils. So, we are fully aware of the power that they have. And I think one of the coolest things is the simplicity. So they very easily can get shared with others and woven into, what I do in my practice so that people can take care of themselves at home. And then outside of private practice, I also am one of the certified trainers of the aroma touch technique. I provide it. It's a big part of my practice. And I'm also one of the ambassadors for our upline, Marty Harger's Essential Yoga Program, which is a program that very specifically and uniquely incorporates our doTERRA essential oils. So, through the aroma touch technique and the essential yoga program, I have to say it's been a tool for me to reach out to others and provide healing, the empowerment. So we're educating them, and we're empowering them, and it's allowed me to reach out and provide healing and hope. I hear that a lot from people. You gave me hope. I'm like, what? So it's a gift of what we get to do with these oils and the power, again, that they have. And sharing aroma touch technique and essential yoga is a really great, powerful way to do that. So that's a lot of what I do. I love being able to focus my time and my energy on that. So yeah, anything we can do to share with others how we can do that. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
really cool.
I
Yeah.
did not know those last two little pieces about you. The trainer of the aroma touch technique. That's one of my next goals is to be able to do that. So
Oh, cool. Nice.
I'm excited to work towards that.
Yeah.
So can you, since we're going to be yoga focused, because the people that are interested in this information are yoga instructors, can you kind of walk us through your typical essential yoga class? I know we have Marty's book that, we've all looked at. How close do you follow that? But if you just want to maybe start from the beginning of your class and walk us through, and then maybe I can just ask questions along the way.
Okay. Well, what I would say about walking people through the essential yoga class, really, if anyone has the book, it really does walk you through it from beginning to the end of the 2-hour workshop. You could do 90-minute workshop or 2-hour workshop. But the outline for each monthly themed program in the Essential Yoga Program book does give you that outline for the entire class. So for instance, if you were to open the book, any of the monthly workshops is going to show you, I explain to people it's like a lesson plan that's provided to us, like a teacher's lesson plan, because you have every block of time broken up. And in those blocks of time, it tells you what you should be doing in that block of time and what oils you should be using. So for instance, in the Essential Yoga Program, you have some time designated to open up the class. And that's where you've got your greeting and your welcome for a typical yoga class, any type of workshop, really. And then it maps out for you the next sequence of timed blocks of what to do and what oils to incorporate. So really, anybody can open up this book and do an essential yoga workshop. It's really all laid out there. As far as how the oils are used, you'll see that in the outline for each month, as I was saying, it's so specifically chosen what you're supposed to do. So when your yogis or your class participants walk into the space, we're already given what oil we should be diffusing aromatically. We have the opportunity to share with people through essential yoga how to use our essential oils internally. So at the beginning of a class, we also share with them some water with the chosen oil to be used internally. So we share a cup of water with our oil for them there.
May I ask a question pertaining
Yep.
to that? So do you have like little cups of water out, or do you just offer them to put it in their water bottles, or
Yeah.
you
What I
logistically?
do, I just like to be prepared. Like I like to have everything set and good to go. So I typically will bring, or I ask my, other instructor to bring. One of us will bring a large jug of water, and we'll usually fill that with water and add our oil. And then we bring, whoever brings the jug of water, or the container brings the paper
Mhm.
cups as well.
Yeah.
And then we'll share the water in little paper cups for everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. That's just so that you're never wondering or guessing who's going to have a bottle, what are we going to have to do.
Right.
Just come prepared and have it for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, and then so after that, once you get through your opening of the class, again, you follow the time blocks that are provided in the book, and it'll show you how to use the oil. So as you're walking through the outline, you'll see that there's a specific oil that's used when you begin your centering and breath work. And there's another oil chosen that you will use when you begin the main body of the class. And it just continues through the final stage of the workshop where you're in Shavasana. So it really maps out what to do. If you have the Essential Yoga Program book, not only will you get those monthly outlines, but Marty has co-authored with 3 other of our crossline. And all the 4 women together have just done a beautiful job of really providing a business of essential yoga in a box or in a book. Because they also have examples of scripts to use to open the class. They give plenty of suggestions and explanations of how to take your way through all the different parts of the class. They have checklists in the book of how to coordinate a class with a co-instructor, how to reach out to other studios, how to introduce the program. So really everything you need for anyone who is interested in reaching out to others to share essential yoga, and then takes you really through the entire process of how to plan, how to coordinate, and then how to facilitate. And then there's also plenty of ideas and suggestions how to follow up once you've provided an experience of essential yoga.
So you actually do use that book pretty much as it's laid out.
Very much so. Yeah, everything is in the book. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and you follow those themes. So every month you have follow the same theme.
Yes.
And how frequently do you have your classes in that month? Do you have many of them in that same month with that same theme?
Yeah. So we typically, in each month, we go with the appropriate theme and focus workshop. Yeah.
And that's what you call them. You call them a workshop.
Yes. Yeah,
So
and they are
special
workshops
event.
because there's more teaching. It's not just I don't want to say typical yoga class, but it's not a typically expected yoga class where you're just kind of guided through a yoga practice. There's teaching about the oils. There's teaching about the benefits of the oils as they're shared throughout the workshop. So that's why it's definitely designated a workshop.
Okay. So you do market it or advertise it as that.
Yes.
Okay. And you typically do the 2 hours, or do you?
We definitely do 2 hours, depending on where we were at and the crowd that we have for that workshop. Sometimes we may teach 90 minutes or just a little bit longer, because when you've got like a first experience of essential yoga for people, there's always questions. They're always just so overwhelmed, like,
Yeah.
what was that? What happened? And they have questions, and they just want to know more. So yeah, if it's a first time experience or first timers, we'll go just a little bit more than the 90 minutes and save the rest of the 2 hours, because we still want to respect everyone's time, so we try not to go past the 2 hours, regardless of what we are doing. But then when we have a class, that's maybe been running consistently at a studio, or we look at our attendance list ahead of time and we know it's people that we've seen before, we'll go the full 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is, like, if you have a lot of people that have been to your workshops, they pretty much know the basics. So there's less education involved. Like, I'm assuming you talk about each oil, of course, but they're not going to have as many questions at the end. So you focus more on the poses and typical.
Yeah, if people have been coming consistently to some of the essential yoga workshops, the part that we'll eliminate is the beginning part, where we teach about essential oils, how we use them, and why the doTERRA oils were chosen to be facilitated with essential yoga. But there's still always questions after, because even someone who's coming to even one or sometimes two essential yoga workshops a month, because some studios offer it more than once a month, or if you're in a community where essential yoga is at more than one studio, you'll have some people going wherever they can to take essential yoga. So, and just because our bodies in general are in constant flux and it's always changing, no matter how many times you're taking a class, it's going to be a different experience, even for the same individual. So more often than not, yeah, there's always a question or two, even by the regulars.
Okay, good point. So I'm hearing that you pretty much follow the book and their scripting. And I mean, I thought you had mentioned to me in the past that you kind of have developed your own closing, or did I misinterpret that?
We have worked on, a lot of our script we have worked on, because you can take everything you need is provided in the book. But just from doing it so many times, I guess, you just see how people react differently. And just like anything we go through, it's always trial and error. And hindsight, is the biggest lesson. So we've just found different ways of saying things that just make us more comfortable and confident in wanting to reach people. Because when you take people through this experience, like I was saying, they often have so many questions about, how did that happen? Why did I feel this? And what did that oil do? Or what was that oil you put on me when I experienced this? And it just gets them thinking about so many things that they never thought possible. So they see the ease of what they can do now for themselves. So they have the questions and they want to do more. They want to learn more. So even just the follow-up with letting them know that I guess each pair of people teaching will kind of have their own community. So what you want to express about yourself and the group of people you're working with is kind of what we've incorporated into some of the scripts.
Thank you. So you do partner up with somebody. So it's usually the instructor and then somebody that passes around the oil. So it's good to have a partnership going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And essential yoga was designed to be taught by two people. So you'll have one person leading the yoga practice and then the other person leading the oils and the teaching part.
Okay, yeah. In terms of, so you have a class of new people, they're excited, they might want more information, they might want to enroll right then and there. Do you separate those out and do a follow-up later with them to, talk more about enrolling and that type of stuff? Or it's just two different experiences?
That what happens at the end in regards to those types of scenarios is kind of a big part of why we had worked on how we close our classes so much, because you will often have people who say, I need that oil that you put on my forehead. I need that oil you put on my low back. So you kind of want to take the business side out of the yoga practice itself. So what we've kind of incorporated in the closing of our yoga workshop is just to, make sure people are aware that we understand they may have a lot of questions and want to learn more. We we make sure to be very clear how they can connect with us. So whether it's whether they leave us a little note next to their name or a form that we have them, however we had them sign in for the practice, we'll let them know, leave us a note some way, or, you know, we'll be outside, or we try to take them outside of the yoga room into a different area.
I like that
if
idea.
there is any follow-up conversation. And that, again, trial and error, because we quickly learned that people could be there for hours after, just chatting. You know, not too many people want to get up out of a restorative yoga practice in general. When they just they questions and they want to know more and they want to talk and they chat. Yeah, so like some of the script in the closing is, you know, thank you for joining the practice. We're so grateful you were here. If you have any questions or want to chat, we'll be outside. Come see us over there. So once you're off your mat and you're ready, come see us before you leave. So it's almost like, you know, like walking the kids down the hallway in school. You know, you want to kind of be the leader and facilitate where we're going to have, you know, the conversation if that's what they want. So
really
yeah, and then you kind of take care of any of the business. If it's something that can be done with, you know, done quickly, go ahead and, you know, sometimes we'll take orders or figure out how to order some of the oils for people. And typically if someone is so excited they want to enroll, in general, we like to have wellness consults with people to best guide them anyway. So that's definitely a scenario where we really do try to get a wellness consult set up and let them know that we'll do that as soon as possible. And a suggestion with that is not, you know, oh, let's exchange information, we'll get in touch. I highly recommend always having your calendar you know, with you. So at the end of every event, that book gets opened and you pick something so that there's an actual follow-up. And if that needs to change, then that's fine. The two people can facilitate that, but get it on the books and have it set so that, you know, your person is going to get the help that they were so excited in that moment to get, and that you don't get lost in your own day-to-day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And you have them how frequently? How many workshops in a month do you typically find yourself doing?
Well, me personally, I'm doing them all the time because I'm doing them all over. But I would say, like, in any one location, they have them at least once a month. Some people, I think it's great to have it 2 times a month. And my best suggestion for that is so that you're reaching maybe different populations or different time frames that people are available. So for instance, you might want to have one on a Thursday night, 6:30 to 8:30, and then maybe one on a Saturday or a Sunday morning, something like that. So having 2 different times is a really great suggestion. The other thing, to serve different populations. So you might want to have one on Saturday mornings for families and maybe one on Monday nights for, you know, general, or we've had some like for seniors or some for athletes, you know, so like you can really kind of pinpoint the population that you want to serve. So sometimes people will have more than one to offer that.
Awesome. You do, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you go more towards the restorative yoga then during your workshop?
I do, yeah. When you look through the book, you'll see that every month, one of the areas that it dictates for us is the type of yoga practice. So, you know, some are restorative, some are yin, some are vinyasa flow. I'm more of a restorative or a yin person. And the people in my group that I work with to help them learn and facilitate essential yoga, for me personally, I strongly recommend within my group for us to do restorative or yin yoga. The reason for that is I love personally the slower paced yoga. So selfishly, that's what I really enjoy. And I love being able to facilitate that for others. But in that, I just, again, personally, I feel that's my favorite way to provide the experience, because everybody needs to chill out. Everybody needs to be quiet. Everybody needs to be still. So in general, I love putting people into that safe space to do that, to let that happen for themselves. And so many people will say, there's no way I can get through 2 hours of a practice. There's no way, even if they hear 90 minutes, there's no way I could do 90 minutes. So, sometimes you have to make people go. Sometimes you have to bribe people to go, but however you can get people to the workshop, I promise you, everybody has said, oh, I wish this was longer. When is the next one? So I feel that quietness and that stillness is really, it becomes easy practice for people because of the slower pace. But then especially when you're layering in the oils, as they're so uniquely coordinated within the program, I think that's a big part of what lends to what people feel. And I think that's just what creates a big part of why the workshops are so profound.
Thank you. And once you have, I know you're creating this community of people who love the oils. They might be enrolling, they might be just buying from you retail, whatever, but they're loving the oils, they're enjoying them, they're coming to your workshops. What type of support do you have ongoing outside of your practice? Or is it just basically just the yoga sessions?
Do you mean what support we give, like as follow-up after the workshops?
That, and then like, do you have other doTERRA group activities that all these people are invited to, and you've created this tribe of people, and what type of things do you do with that tribe afterward? So I guess that's a little bit of an intertwined question.
Yeah, that's okay. So kind of what's happening consistently we have our essential oil classes. And again, those can be at different times and locations throughout the communities that people are in. So, that's part of the closing of the practice, is we make sure that everybody who is there gets the information either that night by a postcard or a flyer, or we send a follow-up email, thanking them for coming to the class. And if you're interested in learning more, here's the times and places for other, events that you could attend and join us.
Okay, gotcha.
So we do that. We also let them know other essential yoga programs that are coming up. The next one's, again, at that location or other places. And then as far as those who are interested in learning more about the oils, we really support them just like we do anyone else that we get connected to with the oils. Everybody probably comes up with their own little system, but doTERRA has the system. Start with your little Healthy Can Be Simple guides, walk people through that, make sure they're comfortable with how to use the essential oils and what ones they could use, kind of give them your own little intro to essential oils, and then follow up with the wellness consults. And then after that, it's really based on the needs of each individual as to what support you're kind of linking them into or providing them by yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. Didn't Marty and the ladies come out with a second edition of their yoga workbook?
They did, and that book is already out.
Okay,
yeah.
Now, have you looked at that at all? I did not get a chance to look at it when it came.
I haven't. No.
Okay, so you're still working from that first edition.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I just was wondering what they did new with the new edition.
Yeah.
Just added in the new oils, or how they tweak.
Right. Yeah, there were some changes with the oils. The yoga collection is in there.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, in addition.
Right.
Yeah, in addition to that, I'm not sure what else was changed or added.
Okay, I might have to pick that up and look that over. All right. Well, I think I pretty much went through all the questions that I got. And you answered them really clearly and thoroughly. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
It sounds like you got a really awesome thing going on there. I love the way you said go to provide it for different populations in different areas.
Yeah, for anyone who ever takes an essential yoga class, honestly, it's an experience like no other. So, anybody who's kind of tuning into this video, again, safely guessing it's someone who's interested in hearing or learning more about essential yoga. So it changed my life when I took that first class. with Marty and seeing, you know, I guess I was that person who had hope as well. I guess I didn't realize that. You know, so just the power that I felt and how it changed my life. You can't not share that. You cannot share that. So I really encourage people, anybody who has, you know, the interest, dive into this and dig deep. Like, make it your own. Yeah, and do some really great things with it.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording again. Thank you, Anna
Okay.
Sassinelli from Buffalo.
You're
Cross
very
on
welcome.
Marty's team. So we're all in the same team. We're just cross-line friends. So thank you.
Yeah.
If you have any other questions, you can get a hold of me. I can connect you with Anna or whatever. But I think she did a really, really good job of telling us how she works everything out. So thanks so much, guys. I'm going to stop the recording. And Anna, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, my friend. Bye, everyone.